My name is Krista Whitley, and I'm the founder of CBD Caring. And every day we are helping people to live their best lives using CBD and natural plant wellness. You know, as an entrepreneur, my passion is helping people do what they do best. I grew up in a very small town of, 5,000 people. My dad was the high school football coach and teacher. My mom was a nurse, so they were in very service-oriented industries. And I actually didn't really know any entrepreneurs growing up. I knew farmers and I knew certainly, people who owned the convenience store, but that true fiery, burning entrepreneurial passion was something I read about in magazines. And I didn't even realize that I was an entrepreneur. I just thought there was a better way to do things. And I remember I had an English class when I was 16, and they talked about a mission statement and values and a vision. And that just sounded so appealing to me. And my mission statement is still actually the signature on my iPhone anytime I reply to an email. And it's the world needs more people doing what they do best. I saw in a small town people who were stuck. And I have seen people throughout my life who are miserable because they're stuck. They feel like they don't have options. And I'm the granddaughter of immigrants. My grandmother relocated here from Japan with a 5-year-old, my dad. And, it's her feisty, she can do anything, including learn English from the television set, spirit that has driven me as an entrepreneur. The inspiration for me to become an entrepreneur was really my daughters. I wanted to spend as much time as possible with them. They're school age, but I love being able to have breakfast with them. I like being able to take them to school and be home when they get home from school. My vision as a mom was to be able to be present and have that level of flexibility. As well, I wanted to see the world. And so, the solution I could come up with was, that I would kind of create my own future. And, really where CBD Caring started was my daughter, Bella. She's 12 now, and she's had severe eczema her entire life. Poor little kid has been scratching herself raw since she was 1 and 2. And so as a mom, I started years ago cooking up things in my kitchen and trying them on myself, trying them on Bella, trying them on her little sister, Mia. And that was this inspiration and this catalyst for creating CBD Caring, which today includes 9 wholly owned CBD brands, over 400 products that are sold in 7 countries, and direct to consumer in 128 countries, right on cbdcaring.com. And everything we do is topical. Everything we do is 0 THC, because I didn't want to get my own children high. I had to find something. And so I'm thrilled. Our Bella Crema Elegante, which is Italian for elegant cream. And that is still our #1 top seller. And Bella has been eczema flare-up free now for over 5 years. Had the opportunity to interview Whoopi Goldberg one-on-one. I've worked directly with Snoop Dogg. Growing up, I heard Snoop Dogg on the radio, over a little pop station in my hometown. I never in a million years really could have imagined the achievements and the awards that we've been able to achieve. I moved to Las Vegas so many years ago. It was the big city, and I'll never forget my boyfriend at the time, who'd helped me move. I dropped him off at the airport, and I just cried because I was so overwhelmed with this big, sparkly neon city, and it was so intimidating, and it was so scary. And I've made probably a million mistakes since then. And every day, that fearlessness, that relentless dedication to figuring out a way and to solving problems that people are experiencing is really the secret sauce. It's waking up every single morning after your worst day ever, when you probably don't have all the answers, and finding a way. And I think that is truly the entrepreneurial spirit. It doesn't matter to me how big we get as an organization. What matters to me is that we are in real time getting that feedback and getting feedback directly from the customers. So I have to tell you, you may call CBD Caring's 24/7, 365 customer service hotline and actually talk to me. I intentionally am very hands-on. I find consumers all the time who are thrown off when the founder of the company is responding to their Facebook question. It's incredibly important to me to get that feedback. And some of our best products that we have in market today came from a consumer saying, oh my gosh, I wish you guys would do this. And so we try it and it ends up being amazing. So we really view the customers who are using our products and our retail partners who are carrying our products as our ultimate partners in our growth and our success. When I was first starting out, some of the biggest challenges that I faced were my own preconceived notions about how much I should be doing and what I should be doing. And I think I really thought that I should, go out and raise all this capital. You read all these stories about, venture capital in Silicon Valley and Steve Jobs and, all of these amazing entrepreneurs who built empires from nothing. And I thought, oh my gosh, if I'm not working 14 hours a day and if I don't hire a bunch of people and raise all this money, that I won't be successful. And, I really had to do a gut check, and I still do to this day, as we're given opportunities to continue to grow and as we're given opportunities to, continue to scale up our business. I have to make sure that we're on the right track with the right partners for the right reasons. It's really been for me about making sure that I am putting first things first. And it's one of the reasons why today, after 5 years of doing this, I'm so focused on efficiency, efficiency, efficiency. It's easy to get caught around speed bumps that make you feel like you're busy and you're important, but it's not really the important stuff. It's feeding your ego as opposed to feeding your business. And so I really focus on all of the things that are going to help us creating a healthy business that isn't built to exit, but a business that's built to eat. Because at the end of the day, I've got 2 babies at home to feed. My team all has families, they need to eat. So we really need to make sure that we're building a healthy, thriving business that's actually built to last. In my life, I have been an employee. I had a job back in the day. I always said I was a terrible employee. And certainly, I've always been very sales driven, very growth driven, very innovation driven. And I would tell you, being an entrepreneur has really fulfilled me in a deeper way that I could not have possibly expected. I love the idea of jumping out of a plane without a parachute and then building it as I'm on my way down, and then soaring to new heights. And for me, I think the greatest opportunity, the difference from having a job to being an entrepreneur has been you remove the safety net. And I'm a big fan of keeping your safety net as long as you need it. I was a single mom. I had to have a safety net for a period of time. And certainly had done work in marketing and advertising and brand building. So it's how I knew to do what I needed to do. But there's a million other things in my company that I had no idea. And the first time I did them was literally Googling how to do them when they needed to be done. So I think, I really encourage people to give a lot of thought to what you're going to do, and to give a lot of thought to actually having a plan, whether it's, 1-page basic lean startup plan, or if you're someone who needs to have an entire 100-page business plan. But have a strategy. I think sometimes at the corporate level, people make things more complicated than they need to be. And I'm all about simplicity, efficiency, and making sure that we make it as easy as possible to just get things done and help our customers. The greatest fear that I'm facing as an entrepreneur is the unknown. And, I think not having answers and not having a clear understanding based on history of where things are going to go is a big fear. I think it's a very realistic fear. And I think it's something that, I have faced with a hearty dose of optimism and just being as prepared as I possibly can be. So much of my entire life has been creating my own luck through just being in the right place and being prepared. And I think, our entire company at every level, from our sales team to our fulfillment operations team, to our upper leadership, has just made sure that we're as prepared as we possibly can be to make sure that we have an umbrella before it begins to rain, to make sure that we're anticipating our customers' needs to the best of our ability. And as needs arise that we have not anticipated for either our customers or our community or our team, that we are handling those as seamlessly and with as much grace as we possibly can. The challenges that we are facing today are things like scaling our business and, finding the right vendors and the right partners who can keep up with our growth. I have always said that I walk fast, talk fast, and think fast. So finding people who can keep up with that, or adjusting myself to people who can't necessarily keep up in those particular areas, but who deliver in other areas, has been fundamental to achieving our success and our growth. And so it's a constant dance, I feel like, with our vendors. A lot of them are wonderful, attention to detail, high quality. And, it's been about putting the right people in the right places. I personally, have done a few trips out to Wall Street, and that is an entirely different world than the world that I live in or that I come from. And so studying and preparing as much as I possibly can for those challenges has really helped me so that I don't feel like I'm the dumbest person in the room. And, I've been able to overcome a lot of that just by asking for help, asking for mentorship. And I think when you're well prepared and you have enthusiasm for what you are doing, while recognizing what you don't have experience and perhaps you do not do well, I think you will inevitably find leaders are very empathetic and very willing to assist you to help you achieve the next level. My greatest achievement as an entrepreneur is really having been a single mom with $60 in her bank account, on her couch, creating a company on sheer passion, enthusiasm, and tenacity that has now grown to being sold in 7 different countries, sold directly to consumers around the world, and winning over 30 different industry awards, from one of the top industry female CEOs to most innovative company, and being named one of the top 100 leaders of our industry by Entrepreneur magazine. Those are huge accomplishments and things that I wish I could tell you they were even on my vision board. They really weren't. At the time, I was just going to be thrilled if I was able to pay my rent and spend more time with my kids. My number one hack or tip for anyone is calendar. I am always analyzing, and I still to this day, I use Google Calendar. It's not anything fancy. I know there's other fancier things out there. I'm a big fan of free. So, I use the free Google Calendar, and I calendar everything. I calendar my sleep. I calendar my workouts. I calendar all of my meetings so that I can really in real time assess where am I spending my time? Am I getting too distracted in things that are not the best use of my time? And it has really helped me to be able every week to look back and go, okay, I maybe got way too caught up in an area that probably is not something I should have been stuck on. Or I used way too much of my time on something that was inefficient, and I need to empower the leaders that I have in my team to really take that on first and foremost. So calendaring is really critically important. My second tip, I would definitely recommend, if you're bringing a product to market, launch the product to market with as minimum units as you possibly can. Get that real-time feedback from the consumer, from who you think the end user is, because it may not necessarily end up being the end user you envisioned, and then go ahead and continue to make those modifications and improve that product. All too often with product development, people wait for years and years and years, and that opportunity passes and it doesn't turn out the way that you planned. So those are my best tips for any small business owner or new entrepreneur. The most expensive mistake that I have ever made as an entrepreneur, and is still a struggle for me, is having the wrong advisors and people on my team. I early on was so naive, coming from a small town. I just thought, oh, if these people say they want to help me, they must really want to help me. And that cost me a huge amount of money. It put me aligned with people who did not share my values, my vision, who just didn't even share my character, and really got me off in a ditch. So hiring slow, whether it's advisors or whether it's team members, and firing fast. By the time that you have decided that you probably need to let somebody go, you should have done it a month ago, because they've probably done more damage to your brand, to your customers, and to the community than you can ever imagine. And that is definitely the most expensive mistakes that I have made as an entrepreneur. My advice for anyone who is out there, perhaps you have a job, perhaps you're a stay-at-home mom, and you have a great idea and you're just not necessarily sure how to really go about that. One of the things that I repeat on a daily basis to myself is, what got me here won't get me where I want to go. And I think that's so critically important, because without taking those chances and truly betting on yourself, you're not going to get anywhere different. And so I really recommend taking those baby steps. Once you have a plan, once you're really passionate and you know that it's resonated with you for at least 6 months, 12 months, you've been working on it kind of quietly, it's your covert operation, your side hustle, and that it's going to work and you believe in it, then you can start to actually tell people about it and begin to take the baby steps to bring it to market. Maybe it's an Etsy page. Maybe it's you creating your own WordPress page. I learned WordPress on YouTube tutorials. I promise you can too. And I think you want to be 100% resolute that this is what you're going to do, and that you have a very clear vision and a plan before you begin to invite outside criticism into your world. And so that's really my best tip. My advice for people who have a list of excuses: I don't have an office, I don't have money, I don't have resources, I don't know the right people, I don't have the first clue how to do this. Stop lying to yourself. Seriously, stop lying to yourself. There's too many entrepreneurs in the world who started against the odds, who had no resources, who had no connections, who had the one suit that they wore again and again and again to free Chamber of Commerce events to go make the connections and make the, create the resources that they needed. You have to be more serious and more dedicated and more tenacious than anyone else to actually get out and take the risk on yourself and achieve success. And that is just life. So all of that energy that you're telling yourself and all of those excuses: I don't have a graphic designer, hit up Designhill. I don't have an office, start on your couch. I don't have money. Start with the people in your network who actually care. Don't ask them for money, ask them to support you in a different way. Maybe they can introduce you to the very first customer who's going to write you a check that's going to actually fund your business. And, I think if there is a will, there is a way. And so if you are truly resolved, the universe will work with you to help achieve your goal. Thank you, everybody, for watching my episode of FounderX on Designhill. You can follow me on social, Krista, and I'd love to hear from you. Keep watching, keep learning, and go get your entrepreneurial dreams. Make that magic happen.